Hi everybody. So today I'm going to do a review of the Woman's Study Bible. This one is in the NIV translation. Tells us receiving God's truth for balance, hope, and transformation. There's a look at what the Bible is going to look like. But it has full color, a lay flat sewn binding, large print, and again it's the NIV. So it comes in a nice two-piece box. Their packaging is very nice. It's got the same quote there. A little bit of information about the Bible and some of the features which we're going to see inside. So it's got the full color, readable 10.5 point type, biographical portraits of over 100 biblical women, lots of study notes, over 300 in-text topical articles, insightful essays by women who are experts in the fields of theology, biblical studies, archaeology, and philosophy, book introductions and outlines, hundreds of full-color maps, charts, timelines, and family trees, quotes from godly women throughout history, a topical index, and a concordance. Here's an example of our text size. And if you would like to receive a free sample download, visit that website there. And then this one, it is guaranteed for life. And then here's our ISBN number. This one does retail for $59.99. I'm sure you can find it for less on Amazon and christianbook.com. And I will also put a link in the description box. So let's take a look at the Bible itself. So this one, it is a hardcover. So it is a cloth over the hardcover. It is really pretty. So we can see that it does have some stitching there, and also the stitching around the perimeter. This material on this outer cover section is kind of a blue denim color, and you can see the texture in that, but really a pretty color. And the floral design that they did on this is really, really pretty. And you can see that that is also a textured material. They're very pretty. I do like it. It's very attractive. Definitely catches your eye when you see it. This one here measures out at 9.5 inches tall by 6.5 inches wide. It is 1.25 inches thick. Has nice navy blue head and tail bands, plain white page edges. On the spine we have the Woman's Study Bible, NIV, and the Thomas Nelson Little House logo. And then the back is just going to be the same as the front. But it does have a really nice feel to it. I think the cover is really pretty. Inside we have just a paper paste down liner. Does have a nice pattern on that. A nice, like a bluish gray color. We've got a presentation page. Then we've got the Ketubah marriage contract. So if you've never looked at that, maybe Google that and check that out. It's kind of cool. There's also some short little videos on YouTube about it. We've got some family history pages. We can also see some evidence of our sewn binding. So it was really nice to see a sewn binding in a Thomas Nelson, because they have a lot of them that aren't. So I was really happy when I seen that this is sewn. We've got special family memories, and then a page for my spiritual mothers. We've got our copyright page. If you would like any of that information, this one is the 2011 text. We've got a foreword, the list of contributors, contents, an introduction, a preface to the NIV. So if you've never read the NIV and you pick one up, definitely read that. We've got all the special abbreviations and definitions. And then we start right off with some of the articles. So these are going to be some of their full page articles. And then throughout the Bible, there's a lot of little shorter half-page type articles, but the longer ones, they've got some of the ones that are multiple pages here in the beginning. But you can kind of see from the titles the different types of articles that these are going to be. And then we're going to get into the Old Testament. So in each book of the Bible, there's going to be the title, author, the date. It's going to have a background that's going to give us the setting, the purpose, the audience, the literary characteristics. It's going to go over the themes, and it's going to have a nice outline. I'll get you a little bit closer there so that you can see how they do the outlines, which is really nice. And it's kind of a nice dark shade of red. So really pretty. And then we're going to get right into Genesis. So we can see that it is a double column format, and it is paragraph. So the font on this is going to be a 10.5. So it is considered a large print, and you can tell right there that it is nice and readable. You do see some ghosting, and of course the camera does really accent that and brings out a lot more of the ghosting than what you would see to the naked eye. And then down here in our study notes, that's on the bottom of the page, you can kind of see that color difference there. It's kind of a light gray that the notes are in, and the notes are going to be in a 7-point font. So here's an example of one of the quotes. And so I really like the quotes that are in this. I think they're really neat. Then we've got a little chart there with the theological foundations for headship. So it gives us the theological truth and the reference. But really nice readable font. That 10.5 is a great size. And again, the camera is going to show much more ghosting than what I'm seeing looking at the actual book. So here's another one of the shorter articles, so not quite 3/4 of a page. And then we've got another short one. So I'm going to flip through just a few of these pages so you can kind of see how many are going to be in Genesis, because Genesis being the first book, there's going to be a lot of information in here. Here is one of the biographical portraits of biblical women. And of course, we're going to start off with Eve, the mother of all living. So we've got another little chart, got another great quote. And so I'm just going to flip through here, and we're going to look at some of the different things that are within this Bible, just so you can kind of get a good example in case you were to pick one up. So we've got a nice in-text map. And you're going to see lots of the quotes. There's also going to be lots of short articles. This is a chart on the 10 Commandments through Scripture. So I'll get you a little bit close up there. So it talks about the commandment, the practical application, the Old Testament references, as well as the New Testament references. So lots of neat charts that are within this one. And this one's kind of neat, the breastplate of the high priest. So it kind of gives us a nice little layout on how that was done, as far as you can see the amethyst and the turquoise and the jasper. So it's pretty neat to see these things. We've got a chart of the encampment of the tribes of Israel. And some of these are actually different than what I've seen in other Bibles. So I thought I would show these, because a lot of times Bibles kind of have real similar information in them. So we do have the instructions to Israel. So it's got the do not. So do not forget the Lord, the consequence, the do, and the reward. So that is pretty neat. A lot of the charts that are in this are really nice. So we've got in here in the book of Ruth, we've got a nice map. We've also got some of the biographical articles here, the portraits on both Oprah and Naomi. So a lot of good information all within the book of the Bible, which is nice. So it's got the cycle of life there that goes through Ruth. We've got Ruth and Oprah, a contrast in women, but just some neat stuff. So we'll just flip through some of these so you can kind of get a good idea of what you might see if you were to pick one of these up. That one's kind of neat, how to endure suffering. We do have a ribbon. So this is kind of a bluish. It's a blue color, kind of looks like a blue with maybe a little bit of gray. It is a nice ribbon. It is just a single satin. So you can see on that back side it's kind of flat, and then there's our satin side. But it does have a nice length to it, so it does give you just enough room to be able to utilize it. It might be great if it was just a hair longer, but I really do like the ribbon. Pretty color. Plus, it is always nice when a Bible has a ribbon. So we've got the answer to inappropriate anger. So it says, meditate and memorize on these scriptures. So memorize them and meditate on them. So those are kind of good. So you might want to take a screenshot of that and maybe jot those down, because that might be something that might be helpful, because we all go through different things. So once we get to the end of the Old Testament, here's Malachi. It's going to give us some information between the Testaments. So it's got the flowers and plants of the Bible. So this is kind of neat. You don't see this in a lot of Bibles, so I thought I would show it. So it's got the flower, the reference and the biblical term, and then also the descriptions or the use. And of course, some of my favorite ones are going to be the frankincense and the myrrh, because I'm big into essential oils. And then we're going to get into the New Testament. So we'll have all of the same features as far as the nice book introduction and timeline. And then this is a nice chart here, the family tree of Herod the Great. Then we've also got Jesus's early life, a map there. And then the Beatitudes for women, so that's kind of neat. So it's saying that blessed are, and it'll tell us the poor in spirit, and it'll give us the character quality, which is humility, a description, and then also the references. So all of these charts that are in this are just really nicely done. There is another great quote. I really do like that they've got all the quotes in this Bible. I think they did a great job with that. So then we've got lessons from the model prayer. And then we've got a good example of our red letter. And so they did do a nice shade of red that is in this. So you can see that it's not a super bright red. So it looks really nice. They did a great job on this Bible. We've got a chart that's got the women healed by Jesus. So just an awesome Bible for women. So men, if you're watching, this would be a great Christmas present for your wife. So buy one now, set it aside, and you'll have a great gift already. So here's a chart on the names for Satan. So I'll just kind of pan down that in case you would like to look at that. This Bible is just packed with information. Here we have another map. That's Paul's second missionary. We've got a survey of Paul's letters. So this is a really neat chart. So it gives you the book, the date written, the place, the recipients, the theme, and then the primary women. So that's a really great chart right there. We're going to have role relationships between men and women. So it talks about headship and submission. So I know sometimes it is hard to submit, but that is what we are called to do. And sometimes it can be really difficult. So there's some information on submission as far as definition, method, examples, and rewards. So that might be a good one to take a screenshot of in case you have trouble sometimes with submission, which I think we probably all do. And I'm sure we can all work on that. This one's kind of neat as far as colors in the Bible. So I wanted to highlight this one because this might be something that if you're trying to figure out a Bible note system or like a Bible study system as far as color coding it, you might want to look at this and see if this might help you. So I will pan down this so that you can pause it and jot these down or take screenshots. So now a lot of that probably won't pertain so much to making your own notes and stuff, but it's kind of neat to see different charts. So we've got questions from the book of Revelation, and then we're going to get back into the helps of this Bible. So we're going to have the table of weights and measures, acknowledgments, index, concordance, and maps. So we'll have just our page there, of weights and measures. Then we'll have our acknowledgments. Then we've got a index, so it's a double column format with an index, and it is 23 pages. Then we're going to get into the concordance. Now the concordance, as you can see there, it is a 3-column format on the concordance, and it is 85 pages. So decent sized concordance, pretty typical of a study Bible. And then we've got our maps. So nice full color maps, and the paper on these maps is the same as the Bible paper. So really nicely done, so you're not going to get any of the glare on them, but nicely colored. I like that they do have the border around them so you don't have anything falling down into the gutter. That's really nice. So there's going to be 7 maps because one of the pages, it's actually a 2-page spread. And so otherwise there would be 8. So this one is the 2-page spread. And then we just get right into the back of the Bible. But you can see there, again, laying completely flat, and that is the very back of the Bible. So Thomas Nelson did a great job on this Bible, the way that they did this one with the sewn binding. So again, this is the Women's Study Bible. It is in the NIV translation. This one is done by Thomas Nelson. So really a pretty Bible. So pick yourself up one or get one for a gift, maybe for your wife or your mom or somebody, even a sister. So there again is the ISBN number. It retails for $59.99. And I would like to thank Thomas Nelson for sending this copy out for review. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.